Hello, it's time for me to do another review of a Kino Lorber Blu-ray release. This time, Jean Renoir, The Golden Coach, 1955 Technicolor, starring Anna Magnani. A wonderful film, a real jewel from this middle period of Renoir's career. His second color film after The River, which he had filmed a few years earlier in India. So here he is, blazing some new trails with a great Italian actor, a female actor, and a really wonderful, beautiful story that I'll say a little bit more about in a minute. But I want to kind of give a little background context as to why I selected this disc and why I was so breathlessly anticipating getting my copy to see if the thing that I wanted to happen with this release actually did happen. And I'm relieved to say that it did. So leave you hanging in suspense there for a moment. But back in 2004, the Criterion Collection released this box set, Stage and Spectacle, 3 films by Jean Renoir. And going in kind of bottom to top order, The Golden Coach, French Can-Can, Elena and Her Men. 3 really wonderful films about the theatrical life, all set in kind of a performance arena there. The Golden Coach is about a group of theatrical performers from Italy who are transported to Peru to perform for the entertainment of the local viceroy who's overseeing kind of a gold rush that's going on. French Can-Can is about the Moulin Rouge, of course, the famous red windmill, and the Can-Can dance, and the founder of that, kind of in a fictionalized version, starring Jean Gabin, one of the great actors of French cinema. And then Elena and Her Men, Ingrid Bergman is in that one, kind of a mid-career, maybe a little bit later career performance for her, kind of after her Hollywood days, even after some of her work with Rossellini had kind of run its course. It's beautiful to see Ingrid Bergman in color in this kind of mid-50s period. So a very nice box set, and one that I think is still available, and not one that I would dispose of, especially the copy of The Golden Coach that's in this box, even though it's been surpassed now by this new Blu-ray release. And the reason for that is that there's still a lot of really great supplemental material on these discs in the box set. You'll see the menus in just a minute. But here's the really critical thing that happened with The Golden Coach. Here's the DVD case. The Golden Coach, when I watched it, it's a very kind of lightweight film. It's about, like I said, a group of Italian performers traveling to Peru, and there's a little bit of a love triangle, I guess, or quadrangle, because this woman, Camilla is her name. She's known as Columbine on stage, but her name is Camilla. She captures the attention of 3 men who proclaim their love for her. One is a regular guy. He's part of the theatrical company, somebody that she's known for years and probably thinks of more as a friend than as a potential romantic partner. The other is the viceroy of this Peruvian colony, very rich man, very powerful, prestigious, and he takes possession of the Golden Coach and offers it to her as a token of his love and appreciation. She's like this earthy, exotic woman. He's never really met anybody quite like her. And she would make a nice bauble on all of his other, fineries and achievements and status symbols that he seems to be driven by. And the third man who vies for her love is a bullfighter, the kind of the epitome of the man's man, the macho guy who's kind of just, he's kind of simple and plain and direct, but he wants to swoop in and win her heart and, get her affection in return. So that's kind of the setup of the plot conflicts and drama. But it's really about the theatrical life and this woman who's kind of feeling a little burned out on it all. She's been doing this probably since, the time she was old enough to stand on her own 2 feet, as a lot of performers were back then. And of course, there was a lot of social disrespect and kind of, marginalization of people who dedicated themselves to the performing arts. They were considered very low class, trashy, disreputable people. And so she's kind of stuck in that situation. Now she's got to tick it out. She could get with the viceroy and, live a life of wealth and privilege. She should get with the bullfighter and, have kind of the adventurous existence. Or she could maybe stick with the kind of the humble theatrical guy and just kind of be, his domestic companion and have more of a stable, predictable life. None of those are the ideal solution for her, but she's not really sure what she wants. And so that's the pathos of this story, of kind of relating to her character and what would she do in this situation. But the way it's played is not really serious or dramatic. This is a trifle. This is a lightweight, kind of frivolous affair in a certain sense. But it's got some beautiful sequences of the commedia dell'arte, the Italian traditional form of theater, which is very nicely displayed here. You know, the Harlequin character and Punchinello, where we get the kind of the punch of Punch and Judy, and other characters are kind of these stock, you know, traditional performers in the repertoire of commedia dell'arte. So you have a very nice representation of theatrical life. You have this kind of, you know, proscenium, music box, dollhouse aesthetic, which I have to think was very influential on Wes Anderson. Some of the scenes are like direct previews of the kind of symmetrical, you know, window boxing stuff that he does. But at the very end of this movie, which I don't really want to spoil too much, there's a very jarring lapse of film quality that occurs at a very critical moment, really very much towards the final reveal of the film, if you will. And I want to show you what it looked like on this Criterion DVD. And as much as I loved the movie, and as much as I really was quite pleased and delighted by Renoir's finale and the way he wrapped up this story, the decline of film quality is so abrupt and so shocking that it really takes you out of the moment. And so, you know, I felt, oh my goodness, there must have just not been very good elements available when they did the restoration. And again, this is just a DVD, not a Blu-ray. So I've muted the sound from the original video material just to avoid spoilers and, you know, to give myself an opportunity to explain what's going on here. So you see one of the main characters, he's kind of the head of the theatrical company, and he's calling to Camilla, and right at that moment, this is where you can see the incredibly just awful fading that takes place as it cuts from one scene to another, and it just doesn't get better basically for the rest of the film. I don't know if there was a damage, if this was edited out in certain versions for some reason. It really wouldn't make sense that they would do that, but even when they cut to more of a close-up shot or a medium shot on a Magnani, you see it's just really distracting. What a shame. So, when I saw that Kino Lorber was going to reissue The Golden Coach, the big question was, did they fix the ending? Did they actually clean it up and make it look better? I'm going to show you the two clips side by side and let you know that, yes, indeed, this looks great. You would never have known about the kind of tragic mess that occurs at the end of this DVD if all you've ever seen is this Blu-ray. All right, so here we are in the Blu-ray version of The Golden Coach, and you can already see that the picture quality on this version is definitely better than what you saw on the DVD. Just sharper, crisper, cleaner, colors very faithfully produced, and you really get that beautiful Technicolor effect. And there's the transition to that other scene. Now everything in the background is distinct and visible. And there's Camilla being surrounded and embraced by the theatrical company. And, you know, she's just going to come up and have her moment, bringing the film to a close. But as you can see, as she steps up onto that little platform there, the curtain comes down behind her, and she has begins her parting words of wisdom and her final dialogue. However, I do want to say that this DVD and this box set are not rendered obsolete by any means. There's a lot of good quality material, supplemental features on this disc that unfortunately was not replicated here in The Golden Coach. You do get a brand new commentary. The author, the writer is Adam Naiman is his name. It's a good commentary track, and he does actually even remark at that critical scene at the end that early prints, or some of the surviving prints of the film, have a very faded quality at the conclusion. But he very quickly, in passing, mentions that it's been fixed, it's been restored, and so yeah, that kind of huge $64,000 question. For me, was nicely resolved, and it is acknowledged in the commentary track. So, yeah, if you have this set and you understand the dilemma of the disappointment that this DVD's ending kind of inflicts on its viewers, you'll absolutely want to upgrade and get The Golden Coach on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. Even if you don't have the box set, even if you're kind of new to Jean Renoir, this is a very delightful introduction, or maybe a supplement. If you've seen the rules of the game, if you've seen Grand Illusion, maybe some of his other stuff that Criterion's put out over the years, these are kind of slept on. They're a little bit overlooked. The River, obviously, I mentioned that earlier, but uh, you know, this is a nice choice, so I recommend it and delight in it. Thanks.